Loud crowds, haircuts, birthday parties, jeans, button downs, certain foods can all be really overwhelming if your child has sensory processing disorder. Now, sensory processing is not a one-size-fits-all because there's so much different variation that goes into it. There's so much different levels of how much kids are affected. Some kids are completely affected by noise and other kids are not affected by it at all. So when we look at kids with sensory processing, we really need to take a unique and customized look at them and their specific struggles that they're going through, because there's not one treatment that's going to help any specific kid with sensory processing. So today I want to talk to you about different types of sensory processing, how your child ends up with it, and then a really cool sensory processing test that we run in our office. My name is Dr. Angela Dixon. I am a pediatric chiropractor, and I am so excited to talk to you about this today because we are seeing sensory kids more than ever before, and we absolutely want to get every single one of these kids help because there's so much you can do to help change the way they understand and interact with their world. So two different types of sensory kids: sensory seekers and sensory avoiders. Seekers are going to look for input. They're going to run into stuff. They're going to touch everything. They're not going to understand personal space, and they're going to be everywhere. Sensory avoiders, they're going to stay away from the flushing toilet and the crowd and the sensations and the wet clothes and the food. They're going to want to push everything away. A lot of kids have a blend of these two different things going on at the same time. When we look at this, how did my child get here? How do we end up with sensory issues? We have to look all the way back to when you were pregnant. How much stress was the mom under when she was pregnant? If you had a lot of fear and anxiety during your pregnancy, you were turning on that stress out of your system and turning on the stress out of that system in baby too. Birth intervention plays a ton into this. Was there vacuum, forceps, C-section, induction? Did we interfere with the birth in any which way? This is very stressful for a baby and can put a lot of stress on baby physically too. And then we just want to look at early childhood exposure. What did your kid go through when they were little, right? Those first formative years are really, really important. How much stress, toxic exposure, all of this was done for them. When you put this all together, we get this imbalance in the nervous system. We get the information coming from the body to the brain isn't clear, it isn't organized, it isn't quality, especially the proprioceptive information. Proprioceptive information is supposed to be calming to the brain. It allows the brain to recharge and refresh. So imagine you've been sitting here scrolling Instagram for a while and you kind of feel the brain fog settle in a little bit, get a little sleepy. What do? You move, you stretch, you yawn, you do something, you cross your legs the other way, right? This is proprioceptive information. It's charging for our brain. It goes up, it recharges the brain, gives it a little bit of energy and clears it. This is how proprioception is supposed to work. In our kiddos who go through a lot of stress and who are stuck in the stress cycle with sensory processing, instead of getting nociceptive information from those receptors, they're actually getting, instead of getting proprioceptive information from their receptors, they're actually getting nociceptive information. This is annoying, draining, unclear information from body to brain. So when they move, they're actually draining the brain instead of charging the brain. And this causes a big problem because what do we do all day? We move, especially kids. Imagine with every movement, you're actually draining your brain's batteries instead of charging them. This is not a good setup, and this is not the right setup for the human body either. This is where we get to run our sensory processing test, where we run a set of 3 scans in our office. We run a heart rate variability, a thermography scan, and a surface electromyography scan. All of these are non-invasive, no pain, no radiation, nothing like that. And it gives us a ton of information about this setup in their nervous system. Are they stuck on stress? Is there dysautonomia in their system? And we physically measure in the back the proprioceptive output of that information. What is the output going from body to brain? What does it look like? How clear is it? How loud is it? We actually get to measure this, which is so cool because we get to look and see how deep, how deep-rooted is this in our kids, and how much time is it going to take to help get them better? How much work is it going to take? What do we need to do to really get this kid back on track and clearing that nociception information? If this is your child and you're thinking, man, my kid struggled with sensory issues for years, I want to do something, call our office and get them scheduled for a scan. 10 or 15 minutes, completely non-invasive, and you will leave with a ton of information about your child and what next steps you can take to help them just thrive in the season that they're in. We are waiting here for you with hope, help, and answers.